Hey, oh, look at that. We are live here on Bowls.tv. It's Bowls.television. Now, I just have to turn this up because, as you know, we've had a lot of strange happenings on this show, and I just want to make sure that the audio is working. And we're on a bit of a delay, so I have to turn this up.
Hey.
Look at that. Okay. Look at that. I can hear myself everywhere. Good. It's a good sign. Well, I'm a little bit frazzled, which seems to happen every time we do a live show. I guess because, there are things at stake, and other than having bad hair in the morning. We got some interesting news this morning. Lots of things going on this morning. We have sadness going on, it appears, with our Midjourney AI bot. But the thing I'm going to talk about first is this Russia invasion that appears to have sort of been attempted, almost happened overnight with one of my accounts. Now, as you may know, as a longtime fan and subscriber of the show, Bowls TV, BOLES.TV, we talk a lot about AI and real intelligence, artificial intelligence, voice, music, songs, images, meow, okay? And a lot of that is, back-end stuff. Like, you can use the forward-facing Google AI, Bard, now Gemini, and the Microsoft, what do they call it? Bing, Copilot Pro. And you can also go on the back end, right? API. And it can be a little bit of a challenge to get set up. Microsoft, I have to say, was much easier to get set up to use their API than Google. And I think that's because with Microsoft, I'm just like a regular user, so I could go in there and, pay or get things set up seamlessly. With Google, because we have a business account, we do a lot of business with them, we have a workspace, you have to turn things on and allow things to happen on the back end server side. But it eventually got set up, and everything is going great guns, as they say. And a long time ago, I used that phrase, going great guns, and people didn't understand what I meant. I wrote a whole article about it. Go to bowlsblogs.com and do a search on going great guns, and you'll find out the history of that phrase. So in getting ready to do the show, I think, well, a lot of things to talk about, technical things, artistic things, and I just check in with my AI stuff to see if there's anything interesting going on there that's changed or updated. Like Gemini is updated to 1.5 Ultra something meow meow, and I just wanted to see if my account had been upgraded to the meow meow, and it has not. It's just on the regular old. Okay. So then I go into my Microsoft account, or I try to see if, anything there has been updated on the back end with ChatGPT, something new. And I get this notification on my account saying, oh no, you're blocked, mother effer. And this is 20 minutes before we're doing the show. So I say, okay, I'm blocked. And they said, yeah, we won't let you log in. I've never seen this before. I've been with Microsoft for 30 years. Whatever. So they say, click on this so we can check your phone number. So I click on that, and it says enter your phone number, and I enter my phone number, and fortunately it sends me a code and says, hey, we know who you are, so you can get back into your account. Now I'm thinking, what? And so the Microsoft thing says, hey, we think someone was trying to break into your account. They don't say it that way, but they hint at it enough, saying that, there were attempts to be made on the life of your account, and we saw it and we stopped it. If you want to know more, click here and see your login activity. So I click there, look at my login activity, and I scroll down, and I see a bunch of failed attempts to log into my Microsoft account from all these Russia IP addresses. And none of them were successful. But the attempt to get into my account was very dedicated and sustained. And I'm glad that Microsoft protected me and said, no, you're blocked. Failed password attempt is what all of the attempts said. So I'm sitting there like, okay, well, that isn't good. That someone from Russia has my email address at Microsoft, which I never, ever use or give out to anybody, anywhere, ever, except to log into Microsoft services. So I'm thinking, well, this is very strange. And then it says, hey, if you want more information on security, click here. So I click, and I see all of my keys. These are all of my login keys, right? YubiKeys. Okay, I use that for, GitHub and any other place that offers them, right? And sometimes you use a password base because it's easier. So, okay. So then I see this recommendation, hey, why don't you just turn off your password and log in through Microsoft Authenticator or whatever, your YubiKey. And they said that is better because that means you have something physical in your hand like your phone or your YubiKey. And people from Russia or wherever won't be able to get into your account because they don't have your phone and they don't have your YubiKey. It's called going passwordless. So I thought, oh, okay, well, I kind of like that. And time is ticking down. I have 7 minutes before the show is going to start. And so I start freaking out a little bit. I said, oh, well, okay. So I go in there and I say, turn on the password, less login. And it says you have to download the Microsoft Authenticator. Well, I already have an authenticator on my other authenticator app. But this specifically said you have to use the Microsoft Authenticator. And it obviously was trying to set it up because it was giving me a QR code. So I thought, okay, so I downloaded the Microsoft Authenticator app, which looks pretty nice, by the way. And do the QR code, and it says, okay, you're all set up to passwordless login. Okay, so then I go and I say, sign myself out of all my accounts. Done. And then I go back to the page. I see Azure's working. Everything's fine there. I'm confident. Okay. And then I go back to the security tab, and it says, and passwords are still turned on. So I go there, and I say, okay, here I am. Turn off the password login. And this time, second time doing it, it gave me a confirmation dialog saying, okay, we've turned off the ability to log into your account via password. And then I click the thing, it logged me out of everything else again. I'm all logged out. I believe things are better now and safer now. I don't know. Now, I pop 3 my email from Microsoft, my Microsoft account, but I have a feeling that's going to get turned off because they're not allowing passwords anymore. So I probably have to download the Outlook app for my phone or log in via the web, but I don't get any meaningful email there anyway, and I don't send any email from it there anyway because it's sort of my secret dev login access account email meow. But maybe now that the world is changing and the Microsoft is, buddying up with OpenAI, I might have to use it a little bit more. I don't know. I really don't get any email there that I could see cleaning up my messy inbox. I do, however, get a lot of spam on that account, which is probably why I don't check it very much. Now, why I have a lot of spam on an account I never use is beyond me. And I remember when I was setting up my email account before Google and before Microsoft, I just had a regular email account, and a friend of mine had a company, and this anti-spam company. And he said, we've been filtering your spam messages, and 98.9% of the email that you get is spam. We've never seen it that high. This is like 93, 94. And I said, I don't have anything to do with it. At that time, you didn't put your email address on the web or anything. I do have some of my work email addresses on the web, but not my Microsoft email address. That is not out there. So spam has always been a problem. People hate spam. Google was kind of the first company to really get a hold of the spam issue. So we'll see what happens. But I do feel that I've locked down my Microsoft account now, and my Google account has always been locked down as hard as I can lock it down with all of my keys. But that was a surprise to see, visually exactly how and where Russia was trying to get into my account. For what reason, I don't know, because there's nothing on that account. There are no secrets there. There's no information there. There's not a drive there. I can't imagine what benefit they would have unless they want to get into, my API or something like that, which would be bad and dangerous, if you know what I mean. So that's my harrowing story, trying to figure out with 20 minutes before showtime, how am I going to lock down my Microsoft account? I don't want these people. Who are these people trying to get into my account? So the other thing going on today, and this was, a 5 a.m. alarm, waking up, reading the news, and you discover this disquieting post on Mastodon from a Twitter account, and I will show you on Twitter because it's just easier that way, this notification. And I've already asked about it today at several different places. And this is what is so troubling. Breaking news. X, Twitter, is in talks with my beloved Midjourney for a potential partnership. X is Elon Musk. Midjourney is my first and original pioneering AI art bot. And the idea of them being together with the purity and the sanctity of what is Midjourney, with the awfulness and the racist, hateful slog that is now Twitter, X, Elon Musk, is really dismaying to me as a human being and as an artist. And as I said in multiple places today, on Discord, on my Mastodon account, the real insult to art, which is what the anti-AI people say are bots like Midjourney and other things. The real insult to art is having X be a part of Midjourney. Now, I asked in Midjourney, is this happening? And I got kind of a vague response saying, I haven't heard anything. These are unofficial helpers. I haven't heard anything, but maybe it'll be talked about during an online session today. And I'm thinking, okay, if this wasn't happening, Midjourney would say very directly and very bluntly, hey, there's a lot of hoo-ha going out there about the pristine Midjourney joining the slag hag that is X. It's not happening. And that hasn't happened yet, which makes me think maybe there's a kernel of truth to it. And based on some of the reactions you're seeing in and around the internets, 1.4 million views of that tweet, you get the sense that maybe something is there. Not that there's fire or that there's smoke, but there's something out there. And I'm telling you, if Midjourney gets in bed with Elon Musk, it's going to be a terrible disaster, especially for people like me, who's an early, eager user, proponent, advocate of Midjourney. If this goes through, I have to find a different sort of place to put my faith and perseverance it won't be on Midjourney if they're coupling up with the horrible Elon Musk. I'm not doing it. I won't do it. I will vote with my pocketbook, as they say. And this does lead to problems with Midjourney, because I know that after last week, Midjourney is sort of back on its heels. What do you mean? Well, I'm going to show you what I mean. Midjourney creates beautiful static images. Now, there is now competition from Microsoft and DALL-E, which is OpenAI images, artwork, via Bing, Microsoft Image Creator, and also just regular DALL-E as part of ChatGPT now, and DALL-E is standalone. And with the new version of DALL-E, version 3, it's very, very, very good. And it does text. If he has to, make a sign that says, "I will work for cat food," DALL-E 3 will do that better than Midjourney, which is already an insult to Midjourney fans everywhere, because Midjourney has always been the top and the forefront and ahead of everybody else. Maybe not anymore, which is the dismaying, shattering part of this all, that Midjourney is now, I believe, getting desperate, and they perhaps smell the stink in the air of their untimely death. And unless they can do something with video really fast, people are going to forsake Midjourney. So maybe they think, I have no idea, that if they hook up with Elon Musk and his Nazis on Twitter, that this will, pump some life back into Midjourney. It'll do just the opposite. It'll kill it faster. So why am I down on Midjourney? I'm not really down on Midjourney, but I am concerned because of this. This was announced last week or so, where you can now, using just a text prompt, right, like you do with Midjourney, give me a cat riding a motorcycle. Now you can write that same prompt, coming soon from OpenAI, cat riding a motorcycle, and it will create a video of a cat riding a motorcycle. So if you have a choice between a static image of a cat riding a motorcycle or a video that looks uncannily real of a cat riding a motorcycle, 100 times out of 100 times, you're going to pick the video. Because that's how we learn. That's how we see. We are visual people. If you can get something moving, then you're winning the war. So here's an example. This is a woman walking. The prompt, the typewritten text prompt, is: a stylish woman walks down a Tokyo street filled with warm, glowing neon and animated city signage. She wears a black leather jacket, a long red dress, and black boots, and carries a black purse. She wears sunglasses and red lipstick. She walks confidently and casually. The street is damp and reflective, creating a mirror effect on the colorful lights. Many pedestrians walk about. So what you're seeing now does not exist anywhere. This is created by AI. And why do I think that video is more important than a static image? I'll tell you why. When I was a graduate school at Columbia University in the city of New York, one of our teachers was Robin Wagner, who was a set designer. And he designed all the big Broadway sets, he and Tony Walton. Robin's main claim to fame was doing the Phantom of the Opera set, and he gave us all the inside stories and all the interesting information about the chandelier that comes down and kind of and how every week his team would go in there and, you have to fix up the set because things get dinged and mucked around, and they'd fix it. And this is sort of an ongoing relationship. You think people go in there, lighting designer, costume designer, set designer, do the show, leave, done. In most theater, that's the way it is. But in professional Broadway theater, where you're, working for 3 months, hopefully a year or 2 or 3, things break and you have to fix them. So it's a constant, ongoing sort of employment. And Robin Wagner told us, everybody, playwrights, directors, managers, that the secret of a Broadway show is to entertain the eye, meaning that where the eyes go, the body follows. And he also went on to say, he was talking about sets, okay? And he also went on to say, if people in the audience are complaining that they can't hear the show, and this was especially true before microphones and amplification, he said that is a clue to the set and lighting designer that the stage is too dark. Now, isn't that interesting? That your eyes, the perception, the audio perception, and we talked about the eyes triggering things in the ears so you can hear, right? We talked about that last week. So Robin Wagner said, if the audience is, making comments, not complaining, but saying, I can't really hear, they're going like this because they can't hear. It's because the stage is too dark. So you have to use a lighter paint, use more pockets of color, because if people can't hear, they can't understand, and they get very frustrated and unhappy. So darkness has to do with hearing, and eye movement has to do with the body following. So if you have a choice as an AI fan, AI worker, AI expert, between something like this or a static image from Midjourney, you are always going to pick the movement. And this is a cinematic masterpiece. And I have no idea if this is going to cost extra money, if it's part of your subscription. I have no idea. I don't care. Because right now, the prompt is, the text prompt that created this video that you're seeing right now, historical footage of California during the gold rush. And people are already talking about this fearfully. They are in fear of their jobs working in the film industry. And they should be very, very afraid. Because what this means is anybody who has access to a computer and this technology can create their own movies. Now, if you could create a movie, or if you could create a static image, most people I know would go for the moving image. There's a reason that art galleries make so much money and rely on donations to stay alive, and why movies, the flickering image, the zoetrope, make billions and billions of dollars as an industry and as an entertainment. So if you can sit in your basement eating Cheetos and talking to your mother and create a masterpiece like this about the gold rush, everybody's going to be doing it. And as I've said many times here and in other places, as someone who creates, writes, edits, likes to work alone, this AI stuff, AI voice, AI music, now AI video, is the absolute perfect collaborator. Because whatever I want to do, my collaborator will do. Oh, that's not collaboration. Oh, really? That's the peak, the pinnacle of collaboration, is having your vision realized. And that's one hard thing. We know when you grow up in Nebraska by yourself and you want to do a show, you write it, you direct it, you produce it, you pay for things, you design the sets, you design the costumes, you get the props out of your garage, and you put on a show. And then you move to New York, and there are unions, and you don't touch that, you don't touch this, you're a playwright, you stay over there. You create websites like UnitedStage.com that celebrates the power and the presence of the playwright directing his own work, his or her own work. And that is how you move forward in a rabid society where things are changing. So this is really a very intriguing technology, and it's been announced, but we don't know when it's happening. But we know it's out there because, look, all this is proof. You can create this kind of cinematic look without having to edit anything. You just type in text. The camera follows behind a white vintage SUV. And the computers will do the work. There was a great old song. I can't find it anymore. I think it's been removed. But the song was "Machines Can Do the Work." And the machines are doing the work. So this is the OpenAI vision of artificial intelligence. Now, what else is happening? This is another thing that's very curious. Boximator. Generating rich and controllable motions for video synthesis. Now, this comes, as I understand it, from TikTok, or the parent company of TikTok. And I don't know anything with TikTok because I'm not interested in that. I'm not interested in Facebook or Instagram. I am interested in passing in Mastodon. So what is Boximator? Boximator is Box plus Animator, a method to enhance video diffusion models with fine-grained motion control in a flexible and user-friendly way. So this is video, okay? From TikTok. Create your own strange video with TikTok, right? Now, Midjourney over there shaking in their static image boots because they can't compete with this unless they have something going on that they haven't told us about. And maybe they do. How does Boximator work? First, you select an object from an image. Then you define its motion state with an ending box, or with motion path, or with both. You can control as many objects as you want under the hood. All motions are guided by hard boxes and soft boxes. Check out the paper. Okay, now that's interesting. The future is here, and it's knocking on your head. Meow, meow. What are some examples? The kitten is hiding herself in the cup. Okay? None of this is real. None of this is findable or holdable in real life. This is all through a computer. Now, is this as good as what we just saw with the video from OpenAI? No. But it shows that people are trying. Midjourney right now, as of this broadcast, doesn't have anything that comes close to this. So people are going to start reevaluating, Midjourney and these other static image companies because they're already behind. In 1 week, they've been demolished. Who wants to spend time, and it takes time and effort, writing a prompt for a static image when you can write the same prompt and get a video out of it? So this is the future. This is where we are going with this animated artificial intelligence. Now, in my conversation about artificial intelligence today, I get a lot of comments. Okay, here we go. Boximator, Pika, and Gen 2. I get a lot. I don't want anything AI. AI doesn't have a brain. Who do you think you are? We're not doing anything with AI. Meanwhile, AI is everywhere. Like Mastodon, the auto-translator on Mastodon from one language into another, that's AI. People seem fine with that. But if you say, AI is going to come and, replace your ability to make an image or create a video file, they get all upset. It's stealing. And AI is not stealing anything. AI is using the same methods to learn and train its processes in the same way that we learn and train our processes as human beings. But people can't seem to figure that out. It's stealing. Well, it's not stealing because they're taking an image and then manipulating it into a new image. So it's not copying and pasting an image. It's a different image. The same way that people, when they are young or of any age, see a beautiful painting and then go home and are inspired by that beautiful painting and create something perhaps similar. It's the same process. It isn't stealing. It's inspiration. It's imitation. Aristotle taught us all those years ago. Human beings learn by imitation. Just like AI learns by imitation. So these are some examples of what's coming. And Midjourney does not have anything like this. The other bots, Dream Wombo bot, Stable Diffusion, the main channel, I don't believe is doing any video, although some offshoots are doing video. It's very interesting. You know, considering where we were a year ago, which is like the blossoming of, AI art. Well, a year from now, we're going to have what? Full-blown AI movies? Who needs to make a movie if you can make your own movie just by typing in a few words? You don't even need a script. You just tell the AI, hey, write me a script. Which then takes us to our next point of intrigue. Madam Web was released, and I guess by all metrics, it's a terrible disaster. Didn't make any money. Now, we just finished a writer's strike and an actor's strike. And one of the most contentious parts of those negotiations to get a new script, a new contract, was the use of AI. And the actors are scared of it, the writers are scared of it, and they should be. For all the reasons we just saw. As I have said for 10 years, we're going in a direction with this AI stuff where you're not going to need new blood in Hollywood. Because you're going to be able to bring back, resurrect, whatever, Marilyn Monroe, James Dean, John Lennon. Bring them back and have them star in new projects and movies through the use of AI. And it will be realistic and believable, and you will believe every minute of it. They'll clone these people in order to have them produce movie after movie after movie. Can the dead own their own image? It appears yes. So why do you need new blood when people can just, watch all these dead old actors come back to life? Marlon Brando in his prime comes back, doesn't talk back, doesn't give you any problems. You just take the essence of the man and his voice and his mannerisms, and you make a clone of him, just like you do with AI voice right now, and put Marlon Brando in a new movie. De-age him and put him in the Mickey Mouse Club. That's where all this is going, and you can't stop it. So this new contract that the actors and the writers have is good for what, 2 years or something like that? Limited AI. Well, the next contract, I guarantee you, they're going to get devastated. They're going to be wiped out because the big production companies see what's happening. They're probably paying for a lot of it, this AI stuff. And they're going to say, why do we need you? I can have AI write my script. I can have AI star in my movie. I don't need original contributions from you. Now, the one place I do think that people do have a little bit of an edge over AI right now, but it could change, is in the idea. The functionality of taking an idea and putting it on stage to making it into a movie, that all can be done. That's a machine. Even today, you take an idea and it gets executed. You always hope it'll be well executed, not poorly executed, but you never know. The idea is everything. Content is king. The idea then is the god. And there are a lot of people who have terrible ideas. So find idea people who know what's going on and something that's interesting is very valuable. So take a great idea and have AI take a hold of it and complete it. That's how you make $1 million. And so we are led to this Madam Web movie, which I guess, I have not seen it, but was a terrible idea. I've been reading about this and how it's going to flop for 6 months online. And do you blame, the star, or do you blame the idea people? The trailer buzz was worrisome. Advance ticket sales anemic. Then last week, the critic reviews for Madam Web were posted, and they stung deepest of all. Sony's Spider-Man spin-off received the lowest average Rotten Tomatoes score, 13%, of any major superhero film in nearly a decade. On Wednesday night, you could actually watch advanced purchase sales declining in real time as buyers were refunding their tickets. Marvel's a major theatrical chain executive. It was really something when you'd rather have Shazam 2 numbers. So what happened? Bad movie, bad idea, bad timing, bad script. And also, I think people are really getting tired of these comic book movies. It's just so painful. Now, imagine one day where you could sit down and call up, let's say, an AI version of Netflix, and you type in a prompt saying, I want a comedy starring Fred MacMurray, the Three Stooges, Marilyn Monroe, Bruce Lee, and Lucille Ball. I want it to be exactly 90 minutes long, and I want at least 3 big plot points. And you press enter, and let's say in a short period of time, which might be 3 days or 3 minutes, who knows? You then get a message from your AI movie bot. Your original movie starring these people is now complete. Would you like to watch it now? Yes, please. Go. Who needs a movie theater chain? Who needs actors? Who needs a studio? Who needs a camera? I get it all by creating this in my bedroom. And you probably won't even have to type it. You can just speak it. And one day with these neural implants, you can just think it. And you'll have a whole new world right there before you. Sony's previous Spider-Man universe movie, Morbius, which was really terrible, was a critical bust and much maligned by fanboys and fan women online, but at least it managed to earn $170 million worldwide. There's no such hope for Madam Web. Plus, the features collapse doesn't just impact this film, but a new potential franchise led by star Dakota Johnson that Sony had hoped to spin out. Spoiler alert, her character is connected to Peter Parker, whose birth is documented in the movie. Now, Dakota Johnson is a very friendly, attractive person. Does she have that thing, that movie star thing that can lead a franchise? That charisma? If you just look at her in the trailers, you can see she doesn't have any charisma. She's not it. Whoops. The film introduced a trio of supporting characters. It set up a future in which the three could have become a team of spider women under the guiding eye of Johnson's Cassie Webb. Now that's not going to happen. We're not going to see another Madam Web movie for another decade plus, said one industry veteran. It failed. Sony tried to make a movie that was a different type of superhero movie. Well, you have to get better actors, and you have to get a better script, and you have to have a better idea. And you can make a great idea out of anything. Madam Web joins a troubling trend for the superhero genre. That's true. We're tired of it. Get rid of it. Every live-action comic book movie last year underperformed, aside from Marvel Studios' Guardian of the Galaxy Volume 3, regardless of studio interference. Superhero fatigue, finally, has evolved from a term used by some corners of the fandom to something reluctantly accepted as industry fact. And it's becoming at a time when Marvel, DC, and Sony are all attempting the difficult work at birthing new franchises. And they try to do this differently, I guess, with Madam Web by having her just be a regular person with special powers, but not a cape and a hood. When there are capes and cowls on every metropolis corner, doesn't it make sense to avoid the usual tropes and try for a more grounded-feeling suspense thriller with low-key charm, and moreover, make a superhero movie for women and young girls? Except it did not work. And then the nasty quotes start coming in. I don't know if women are enough to carry the box office, one veteran studio source outside of Sony says. Indeed, males make up 65 to 70% of the superhero audience in North America. In the case of Madame Web, the percentage of female viewers was only 46%. The current mood on the Sony lot is gloomy, an insider says. The studio certainly has notable wins under movie chief Tom Rothman's tenure, including the Oscar-nominated Spider-Verse series and live-action Venom. Rothman is known for keeping a close watch over budgets, and it's been widely reported that Madam Web cost $80 million, but the actual number is in the low $100 million range. Still, that's far less than the $200 to $300 million routinely spent by Marvel or DC. Interestingly enough, some Madam Web reviewers are earnestly making the case that the film could eventually find a second life as a camp classic. Oh, ho, ho, ho. The Los Angeles Times praised it as the purest form of camp. It's a travesty, a disaster, and I enjoyed the heck out of it. While such a backhanded compliment are hardly solace to Sony, there's an argument to be made that if you're going to fail, you might as well fail bigly. Because there is actually something worse than a movie not succeeding. Being forgettable. And forgotten, I suppose. So these are the interesting twists and turns that we must endure as people living an interesting and conscious life. I'll put all the links to this conversation in our Discord server, which is discord.gg/BOLES or boles.co/Discord. Had a great conversation today about motion versus static when it comes to imagery, video, and perception of AI across the future that is coming for us. I thank you so much for being here. I've enjoyed our time together. You know where to find me if you have any comments or questions. Until next time, be safe, be well. I'm David Bowles, and this is Bowles.tv. Oh yes, it's Bowles.television. Bye.